can turn the world on with her smile? Who can take a nothing day and suddenly make it all seem worthwhile? Well, it's you, girl, and you should know it. With each glance and every little movement you show it. Love is all around, no need to waste it. You can have the town, why don't you take it? You're gonna make it after all. You're gonna make it after all.
Murray?
Yeah?
I just got a challenge from the guys at Channel 10 for another softball game. I want you to catch.
Oh, hey, no, Lou, I don't want to catch.
Yeah, what difference does a position make? Pitch, catch, who cares?
Who's going to pitch?
I am.
You pitched the last time. You always pitch, Lou. Come on, let me pitch.
All right, you can pitch.
Hey,
I'll
thanks,
catch. Let's see. I'll get Fred to play first. And then I'll get you.
What about me?
What do you mean, what about you? What about you?
Well, Mr. Grant, you are going to include women on the softball team, aren't you?
Oh, come on. Don't start with that. It's been such a nice day. The sun was shining. The birds were chirping.
Mr. Grant, there is no reason in the world that softball should be exclusively male. Or that you should think only of the men in the newsroom when you are choosing your team. No reason. Nothing to do with glands or physical size. There is no reason.
Okay, Mary. Okay, you're right. What position do you play?
Name some of the positions.
I'll keep you in mind.
Guys, just heard about the challenge from Channel 10. Kind of short notice, but I'll keep my pitching arm in shape.
Never mind, Ted. Murray's going to pitch.
What do you mean, Murray? Why Murray?
Lou said I could.
Well, it's my turn, Lou. I mean, let me pitch. I mean, it's not fair. Please, Lou.
Let him pitch, Murray.
No, Lou, you promised I could pitch.
Mr. Grant, I take it all back. I never want to hear women doing this.
Ted, Murray's going to pitch.
Well, if he pitches, I'm not playing.
You will if I say so.
Okay, I'll play. But I'll play lousy. I'll do everything wrong, make a laughing stock out of the newsroom.
Well, that's all we've ever asked you for, Ted.
Let's go, Newsies. Hop to it. Come on, Lou. It's time for the station manager's reception.
Oh, yeah. I'll get my jacket. Reception? I don't know anything about a reception. Who's it for?
Carl Heller. Professor Carl Heller.
Oh, Professor Carl Heller. Well, that's different. Why don't you say so?
Ted, do you have the slightest idea who Carl Heller is?
Well, of course I do, Mary. He's a famous scientist.
I know.
Psychiatrist? Podiatrist? The governor of Minnesota?
You don't even know who our governor is?
You only keep changing every 3 or 4 years.
Carl Heller is a friend of the station manager's. Former Harvard professor. You must have heard of him, Ted. He's been on all the talk shows. He's always writing articles for magazines. He'll be teaching a few courses here at the university.
Well, big deal. You know what they say about teaching? Those who can do, those who can't don't.
As I told Johnny Carson, 5 minutes is inadequate to review a book of any merit. But for this piece of trash, it was excessive.
Gee, I kind of like that book. I thought it had real atmosphere.
So does a garbage dump. But they don't expect you to read it.
I think maybe I'll get another drink.
Carl, I'd like you to meet Mary Richards, the producer of our news. I'm charmed.
How do you do?
Tell me, Miss Richards, are all the women in Minneapolis as lovely as you?
Yes. I just adored your article in Harper's, Carl, on modern theater.
Oh, yes. I love the theater. I just saw a revival of My Fair Lady. What a perfect show.
Well, I personally have nothing against derivative schmaltz.
Granted, it has flaws.
But I don't see how a marriage of second-rate Shaw with third-rate operetta can produce anything but dribble.
Not a great show by any means, but the costumes...
Hollow pomp, draped in fruity decadence.
Check. I think I'm going to just get another drink.
I think the proper function of drama should be to shatter our complacency and to scar our souls.
I do that on my show.
Professor, I'm Murray Slaughter. I've enjoyed your writing.
Thank you, thank you. I'd rather you hadn't. What we enjoy, we forget. What irritates stays with us.
That reminds me. Do you know Ted Baxter?
Professor, I understand your ace is in the brain game.
Of whom is this person doing a parody?
We had a couple of eggheads in my family, and yet I'm the one who became rich and famous. Funny, isn't it?
No, not really. One never goes broke underestimating the public's taste.
Ha ha!
Carl and I were just discussing theater.
Well, I'm a movie buff myself. I love to watch them on television.
That's where they belong.
Come on, you must like some movies.
Well, at its best, which it seldom is, a film can be powerful. There was one absolutely first-rate Ukrainian film at the last festival. It was called Blood on a Dog's Face. It was about deformity.
Oh, boy.
But somehow the subtitles missed all the whimsy.
Well, maybe I should get another drink for when I finish this. You want to know something? That guy's a pain in the neck.
I have an even lower opinion of him.
Well, you all met the guest of honor?
Oh, sure I have.
And what do you think?
Haven't stopped talking about him.
Ah, good. Then you're going to love the brainstorm I just had. I feel that the 6 o'clock news has become bland and predictable. Well, it lacks controversy, Lou. And I was just thinking, wouldn't Carl be a great addition?
To what?
To the news. Critic at large, regular spot once a week. Books, movies, restaurants, theater, you name it.
Critic at large?
Well, let's try it one night, Lou, see how it goes. I like the idea myself.
But why are you so set on the idea of using Carl Heller?
Because he's honest, Mary. Because he says what he really thinks. And I prize that quality above all others.
Ah, well, in that case, would you like to know what I really think of this idea?
No.
A surprise turn of events when a plucky grandmother climbed the tree herself, snared the fugitive canary in a handkerchief, and fed it to her cat.
Carl Heller's coming on.
And now it's time to introduce WGM's new critic at large, Carl Heller. We hope you enjoy him, but it's just a tryout, so if he bombs, he goes right down the oak. And now, the distinguished Professor Carl Heller. Carl, what are you going to criticize tonight?
When I accepted the job as cultural watchdog to this metropolis, my immediate question was, what sort of people live here? At first glance, this town might appear to be an enclave of benighted yahoos.
Well, I couldn't agree more.
Unless, of course, that's bad. I wonder, are their cultural pretensions as vacant as their smiles? Is this really the heartland of what Mencken called the bourgeoisie?
He just called our entire audience boobs and yahoos.
Maybe that was just a teaser. Maybe he was kidding.
It is said that the people get the culture they deserve. In the nights to come, we shall try to find out exactly why no first-rate art has ever been created in this big, but intellectually famished, arid, and sterile city.
This is Ted Baxter saying goodnight from Phoenix, Arizona.
Intellectually famished, arid, sterile city. How could he say that about Minneapolis?
That is the cruelest man I have ever seen. I think I'm in love.
Hello? Hey, wait a minute. That is not our responsibility, mister. We don't know. Hello?
Yes, I know. No. Yes, I know. No, it was not our idea. No, it really... But I...
No, we are not responsible. No, that does not reflect our opinion.
I think we have just witnessed the shortest career in the history of television.
Well, how was that performance?
How was that? You want to know how that was?
55 calls. 55 angry phone calls through the switchboard in 1 minute. I can't believe it.
Well, you should hear the calls we're getting here.
Listen, Carl. I know I said I'd like you to appear on the show once a week, but I've changed my mind. Once a week isn't enough. I'd like to make this a nightly event.
And speaking of nightly events, we ought to get to know each other better.
Now, what are you doing? You yourself said we never had so many complaints.
Exactly, Lou. Complaints mean controversy. And controversy builds ratings.
Well, if controversy is all you want, Mel, why don't we just have Mary here deliver the news topless?
Let's see how this works out first.
What a man, Mary, and what poise. Oh, he really knows how to treat a woman. Not once did I have to yell start.
It's the worst game I ever played in my life.
Boy, were we lousy.
Really miserable.
We just look rotten.
Our entire team got one hit.
Take me out to the boat.
Guess who got it?
Hey, guys, it's just a game.
Matters not who won or lost, only that I played great and the rest of you sucked eggs.
Ted, just because you got a lucky hit doesn't mean you played great.
Lucky? You call my hit lucky, Mary? I do. With 2 out in the ninth and us 26 runs behind, Ted, I really don't believe anyone was expecting you to bunt.
And how many lucky hits did you have, Lou?
Let me see. What was my average? 1 out of 3. Wait a minute. I walked. That doesn't count. 1 out of 2. 1 out of 2. Not bad. Let me know the next time either of you bats 400.
Mr. Grant, does this mean we may have heard the end of softball for a while?
No, Mary, does not mean that. It means that we're going to shake this team up, have some practices, challenge Channel 10 again, and beat the daylights out of them.
Oh, Lou, you are so adorable when you're childish.
Yeah. I imagine at your age, everyone seems childish.
Must be my maternal instinct. Right now I have an overwhelming urge to diaper your head.
Mr. Grant, the reason I asked that question is that if we could table sports for just a while, I would like to discuss our resident critic.
Yeah, you're right. We're going to have to do something about that jerk.
Well, now, wait just a minute. I will not have Carl Heller called a jerk by anybody. Well, you may not agree with the man's opinions, but he is charming, witty, intelligent.
Mary, I wondered, did you have any plans for this evening?
And desperately hard up.
I've been given the name of what is purported to be the best French restaurant in town. I just wondered if you care to dine with me tonight.
Well,
Would you excuse us for a minute, Carl? Mary, can I see you for a moment? Something important came up. Just stay right there. We'll be right back in a second. It's really not important. She'll be right back. Mary? Now, I think you'll agree with me that I seldom get involved in your social life. Right?
Are you kidding? You constantly get involved in my social life.
Right. Okay. Mary, since I constantly get involved in your social life, I think you'll agree with me that one more time won't hurt. She'll be right out, Carl. Now, somebody's got to talk to Carl about toning down his reviews. And nothing puts a guy in a more receptive mood than good food, good wine, and the company of a beautiful woman. Now, I am going to ask you to go out with Carl for the good of the station and everybody involved. So, Mary, please, for everybody's sake, won't you go out with him?
Sure, I was going to say yes anyway.
Ready to taste the wine now, sir?
No, thank you, not yet. I would like to give it a little time to breathe.
I think it has breathed sufficiently, sir.
I will be the judge of that.
As you wish.
The shrimp is just delicious, Carl.
Is it fresh? It looks frozen.
Well, I don't know. It doesn't seem to really matter, though. It's very good.
But, Mary, it should be fresh. It would be an outrage to serve frozen shrimp at prices like these. Let me try them.
Fresh. Very fresh.
Everything all right?
Fresh. Fine. Thank you. Fine.
I thought his manner was a little perfunctory, didn't you? Perhaps I should speak with him.
No, Carl, please, no. Everything is just lovely, really. And thank you very much for inviting me.
Mary, I have to confess that I have a weakness for the company of beautiful women.
Well, thank you very much.
I have very high standards in women, as in everything.
Well, that's very
Only
nice.
the best will do. Would you like some wine?
Yes, thank you.
Somni. I will taste that now, please.
Actually, Carl, that's something that I wanted to talk to you about. I think your standards are a little too high.
How so?
Well, on the news, we are supposed to appeal to the public, you know, not just to the intellectual elite. But you never seem to praise or recommend anything. I mean, you can be too critical, you know.
You really think so?
Well, yes, I do. I mean, just being negative isn't really being constructive. But if you were to point out some of the good things about our city and be encouraging and supportive...
This won't do.
I beg your pardon.
This wine is bad.
It tastes fine to me, sir.
Monsieur, I do not care how it tastes to you. Would you kindly bring another bottle?
I'll speak to the maitre d'.
How dare they? I mean, how do they have the gall to serve wine like that?
I don't know. Carl, is it really important enough to make such a...
I tell you how they dare, Mary. The public puts up with it. People are cattle. They'll accept anything. Well, I won't.
Something the matter with the wine, sir?
Something the matter with it? Yes, you might say that.
Carl, it really doesn't matter. I didn't want to wine.
Besides the fact that it has no bouquet, no body, no character, it is corked, cloudy, bitter, overpriced, and totally unacceptable.
Maybe that first swallow just went down the wrong way.
I'm afraid my sommelier doesn't agree with you.
I don't care whether your sommelier agrees with me or not. I am the customer, and that wine is bad.
My shrimp was very good, though. Really.
I know wine, and this is an outrage.
Carl, please.
You charge $40 for a bottle of wine that has turned, and then you have the arrogance to argue with me instead of apologizing. You've just lost 2 customers. If you expect to charge these prices, then you better start treating the public with courtesy instead of condescension, or you won't have any public left. Come on, Mary, let's go.
And next time, make sure the shrimp is fresh.
Miss LaRue later explained her costume to vice squad officers by saying she was an unemployed lion tamer. Tonight, our critic at large turns his attention to the TV scene. Carl?
Well, I wonder who Jack the Ripper will attack tonight.
I think it is only fair that we apply the same critical standards to television that we do to anything else.
Very sound thinking.
Thank you. I think our first task ought to be to put our own house in order.
Just call them the way you see them, Carl. Let the chipperinos fall where they may.
What you're watching at this very moment is a classic example of what is wrong with television in this town. It is the pursuit of personality at the expense of competence.
I'm not sure I understand.
I'm sure you don't. Let's face it, WJM is the biggest offender in that regard. From the dowdy frumpery of the Happy Homemaker show to the bumbling, foot-in-the-mouth delivery of a certain anchorman. And backing them up right down the line are dull writing, inept staging, and high school production methods. Well, there you are. The Emperor has no clothes. Tomorrow we shall look at some of the other stations in town and see if they fare any better. Meanwhile, this is Carl Heller saying, let the viewer beware.
High school production methods?
Dull writing. Boy, he didn't miss anybody, did he?
Murray, be a good guy and go buy me a gun.
Look, Lou, I don't like this any better than you do, but we've got to stay calm.
I'm calm. That's one of the things the Army taught me. How to kill calmly.
Bumbling? Do you think that's a nice thing to say about anybody, bumbling? My mother watches this show.
What's the matter with you? If we dish it out, we ought to be able to take it.
Okay, Carl. Let's see if you can take it.
No, Mr. Grant, please, no, please. Don't. Let me handle this. You creep. Who do you think you are? What new show did you ever produce? Or anything else for that matter?
Mary, you don't have to be a chicken to judge an egg.
Have you no sense of proportion? Criticizing a multi-million-dollar movie is one thing. But to publicly attack the individual workers at a tiny television station who are simply doing the best job they can is nothing but sadistic bullying by an arrogant snob. Now hit him.
Lou, I'll flip you for it.
Come, gentlemen, I'm not afraid of either of you.
You're not?
You wouldn't hit me, Lou, because that would mean that you can't take criticism. And deep down, both of you know that my criticism was just. And in your business, you can't attack old-fashioned honesty, can you? So long as I deal in truths, no matter how unpleasant, I have nothing to fear.
All right, Professor.
I have nothing to fear from you either. You're sensible, rational people. And sensible, rational people do not throw either pies or punches at someone's face for simply stating an honest opinion. Only a fool would vent his frustration in those ways.
Well, he's fired.
Well, how'd you work that?
I didn't. Apparently, the station manager isn't that thrilled by honesty when it comes to his own shows.
You know, in a way, it really isn't fair.
I know. I thought the same thing myself.
I mean, I don't like what Carl said, but the station manager did. He wanted controversy.
Yeah, he wanted him to attack things.
He wanted him to say what he thought.
So, it was hypocritical of him to fire him.
Very hypocritical.
Not right at all.